Yes, Gas heads, and welcome back to Gas Fan TV, the channel that keeps you locked in with all things Bristol Rovers. As you can see, I have a special guest here today for the first episode of From Grassroots to the Gas. I am joined by Bristol Rovers captain, Alfie Kilgour. Thank you for coming in, mate. Really appreciate it. How are you doing?
Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm very good. Thank you, mate.
Come over to Cardiff as well, so I appreciate that.
Bit of a drive. Thanks for having me. Obviously, I love the concept of grassroots to the gas. So I'm happy to be here, and obviously we've been planning it for a while. So yeah, delighted, mate.
I really appreciate you coming on. It was something I've wanted to do for a little while, so I wanted to get you on first, and you're here. It's going to be like a chat. I'm not going to grill you. Okay, I do have some questions. I have questions from the camera. They've sent in a lot of responses, so yeah, I do have a couple questions from the fans at the end, but we'll get to that. And there's also a quiz at the end as well. Perfect. We'll have a few other guests as well, so we're going to see who wins the 5 out of 5. So I feel like you can. I've got them here. I reckon
anything where there's competition, all the lads will be all over that.
So. I reckon a solid 3 out of 5.
Yeah. Okay.
I reckon you could easily, easily 3 out of 5. Easily.
You should know them as well.
It's all about your career. All about your career. Well, let's get into it then. Yes, talking about your career, you joined the academy at 8 years old. I don't want to get into that first. I want to get in what happened up until you were 8. How did football become a thing? Was it pushed down from your parents? Did you have friends at school that just how did it come about to even want to be a footballer?
Yeah, obviously I've said this before, but I'm very lucky that I've got something called a football obsessed dad. And when I say that, I don't mean somebody who's sort of just football obsessed and watched it on the TV or like played the game. Do you know what I mean? He's played over 1,000 games non-league, and growing up I would go and watch him, and from a young age of 3, 4, 5 years old, the likes of Forest Green and Trowbridge Town, Gloucester, Bath City, so local size, but played over 1,000 games. And yeah, I think that had a massive influence on me, obviously. And seeing my dad play football, I wanted to play football. To what degree at that age, I just wasn't too fussed.
Just fun at that point,
yeah, playing football. And yeah, so he had obviously played the game, and I looked up to that and wanted to play, and I absolutely loved it. Do you know what I mean? And I loved playing football, and at school and home from school every day. I'd be straight with boots on and out on the front grass playing. Yeah, straight out. And that had a massive impact on me. And I started off at Melksham Town, just local-ish little town team, and did the summer tournaments, and I always played up a year, so maybe 6 years old I was playing with the under-7s, and then under-7s played with.
Were you tall at that age, like and stocky?
I think I was I was probably a good size, and then I was probably not too bad and was competitive, and so yeah, I always got pushed up an age group, which I think in the long run really helped me, because then at 8 when I signed for Bristol Rovers, I was in my own age group. I was like, oh, this is a lot easier actually. This is all right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was how it started. And I remember my dad, when I got offered the year contract at Rovers at 8, got back in the van after, obviously you get like a 6-week trial, and after 2 weeks they said, oh, we want to offer out for you the contract for the year. And he said, so we're doing this? And I said, yes, I want to be a footballer. He said, okay, well, if we're doing this my way. And that was it. Like the things we used to do, like bag a ball after school every day. And I used to go and do running at Bath University Tuesday and Thursday nights, swimming on a Wednesday, training Monday, Friday. If the game got called off on a Sunday, he'd go on the bike and I'd be running at like 9 years old, which isn't normal. Do you know what I mean?
No.
I didn't ask questions. That was what we did. And, kids would be thinking, well, that's a bit weird, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? But at the time, I just didn't ask questions. That's what my dad said to do. And he was never overly opinionated. He was never pushy, but we had a goal, and that was to be ultimately a professional footballer, which by luck, hard work, and a crumb of talent, we sort of made reality. But no, very grateful, and it wasn't easy along the way. A lot of sacrifices. My dad, mum, working 2 jobs, and dad on the building site, and then my mum meeting him at the motorway junction at Bath, bringing him his dinner and a Tupperware for me to then get dropped off there from school to go to training. And so yeah, but I had a good education in terms of my dad, he was also assistant manager at Melksham Town, Frome Town, Poulton, Mangotsfield. So every Saturday I would go with him from 6 to 15 years old. That was Saturdays I went with my dad to football and be in the change rooms. Would see lads scrapping, would see lads having it out, would see the manager grilling people, would see the promotion parties. So yeah, I didn't grow up in an academy of Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester, whoever, but I had a completely different education, which also I think was incredibly beneficial because I was in a man's environment.
Well, I was going to ask you that. Like, is it? Look, I believe non-league football's still a very good standard. Like, it's a really good standard, but fundamentally, you have players there that are also have another job, making another sacrifice, different graft, etc. You've got your bricklayers, you've got tough people.
Yeah.
Do you think that helps seeing that? Like, it's not all, say, pretty football at the start, and do you think that does help you in the later life?
Yeah, absolutely. It's real football. Do you know what I mean? In terms of non-league, it's not. There's nothing too fancy about it. It's nothing too, but it's lads that are ultimately, which it does come down to 11v11, having a tear up. Who's going to get the better? Is a striker going to get the better of the centre half, or is a centre half midfielders matching up wingers against fullbacks? That was what it was. It was 4-4-2. Traditional football. And when I was 8, 9, 10 years old, I was in the change room. Do you know what I mean? I was in there pre-season. I'd go along. I'd do the pre-season, like all the running and that at 10 years old.
Mad.
And I loved it as well.
Fair.
And like my dad did that. He was a bricklayer, builder, and he would play football on the side to a decent level back then, which is now the National League. Obviously, it was part-time. And he said, I used to get paid to do that. He said, I would have done that for free. I loved it that much.
That's great.
He did well. Like, went to the FA Trophy at Wembley and things like that. But he obviously would work, do that as a hobby, but also get paid for it. He said, I would have done that for nothing. Just loved it. Do you know what I mean? Home and away on the coach.
You need that there, don't you?
You do.
You need that.
Yeah. And it's also like, not so much the football side of it as well. It's with your mates, you're with lads, you're with each other. There's that brotherhood, there's that bond. And there's nothing better than winning, is there? Do you know what I mean? There's nothing better than going to war with someone for 90 minutes, having a scrap, and then getting back on the coach or sitting in the change room and you got scrapes all over your body and you're aching here, you're aching there, but you got 3 points. I don't think there's any better feeling.
I can imagine. And the thing is, one of the questions I was told to ask you at one point from the fans, it's relevant now, is one of the questions was, would you prefer to win ugly or lose, like, but you've played really well? I think you've just answered.
Yeah, no, I'm winning ugly.
Just win ugly.
Whatever it is, I don't.
There's no feeling like it. I can imagine.
It almost feels better if you just won ugly and they're really hurting. So
Yeah,
battered you.
yeah. The snatch and grab.
Yeah, so that's a no-brainer. As long as you win the games, it's irrelevant.
For sure. Rovers came knocking. You went into the academy then. What does an academy setup actually look like day to day? You would have still gone to school. You would have still. How does that work? Like, I've always been intrigued. I've never been in an academy. I've never played football at any high level ever. How does that work when you're in an academy? Is it odd? Does it take some getting used to?
It definitely takes some getting used to. I think obviously it's a long time ago, but for me it was needed at the time. I think I was progressing and I was still playing up a year. So I was ready for something different. I could tell I was progressing more than the other players at my local team. So I just went to a summer tournament and Alex Hinder spoke to my dad and said, come along for a trial. And it was just so different. We went and trained at SGS College in Filton. Obviously for my mum and dad, that was a lot of driving. But we were also lucky that there was another lad a few years older than me who's grown up in a similar place. So my parents would share lifts with his parents. So yeah, it wasn't too bad, but the setup, the kit, you know, when I first got, obviously we used to get hand-me-downs at local team shirts that were like down to my knees. And
yeah, fair.
We got a kit bag and it had, even then my first number was number 5. That was the last one left and I said, I want that. And that was obviously always my dad's number. Got a kit bag, tracksuit and training kit, which was just immaculate with a big Rovers badge. And I bet
you feel like a baller at that age,
he's got like the gold 1883 and I remember thinking, wow, this is like proper. And we used to train on the 3G, 4G, which was different, took some getting used to, but the setup was good. And at the time I was like, this is the best thing in the world. Do you know what I mean? And I probably progressed a lot in such a short amount of space.
Were you still slide tackling on 4G?
Yeah,
yeah, going in
for taking the socks off in the car and just black rubber crumbs everywhere.
They are everywhere.
Yeah,
it is mental. You worked your way up. You got your first taste of football at like, was it 17? On a bench a couple of times on the first team?
Yeah, I mean, from 8 years old to about, I want to say 12, I was just getting year contracts. Nice. And then I had a good year at maybe 12 years old. And then I got offered a 4-year contract to take me up to 16. So I was like, brilliant, that gives you a bit of security.
Is that what they call a scholar?
No. So the scholar's at 16 to 18.
Right, okay, fine.
But luckily, I got offered this contract, and I think everybody sort of shot up a little bit as then. Right. So that was good security for me. But then, yeah, got offered, obviously, my scholarship at 16. I think it was between me and another lad, but they actually looked at my parents, and my mum and dad are obviously tall. My dad's tall bloke. My mum's very tall and athletic, and they said, well, we're going to give it to Alfie. Because obviously, if we choosing between two centre backs, who's going to maybe progress? If that's your genes,
yeah, fair.
And then that was a big reality shock. And even then, like another thing my dad always said, I got offered my scholarship. A lot of lads think they've made it at 16. I've got a scholarship, I've got a 2-year contract, I'm getting paid, albeit it was like peanuts. But he said, no, this is when the hard work starts. Do you know what I mean? 16, you've got, this is when it starts. People think they've made it when they get to that point.
Interesting.
And a funny story, it's obviously the local newspaper rung up my dad and said, oh, your son's been offered a scholarship. And he said, you know, we'd like to do an article in the paper for it and get you in the paper. And Dad said, listen, maybe we'll do an article when he's played about 250 games. Until then,
just leave it.
Leave it be. Leave the lad alone. Like, he's not achieved anything yet. So just, I was like, oh, I would have quite liked to do that, Dad. But then, in hindsight, yeah, like, I don't need a newspaper article on me at 16 getting offered a scholarship.
I think that protection is helpful.
Yeah.
I think, obviously, we want to keep it about your career, but I see it now in Prem football. Max Diamond at Arsenal, 16, 15, 16, like the attention. I can imagine that can be really overwhelming. I'm a big darts fan, Luke Littler. Like, that must be so much. And look, I'm not saying a Rover scholarship is the same as winning the World Championship of darts, but it would be for me as a gashead. But I think that's helpful. In hindsight now, do you think that maybe was the right decision?
Yeah, in hindsight, so grateful. And the little things which maybe I didn't understand at the time, looking back now, were spot on.
Yeah.
And he's always been very good at putting a little bit of a twist on things and not allowing me to get too ahead of myself. So yeah, it's always been very helpful. He's always had a good mindset on certain things, which have, in the long run, have really helped me. And, like I said, going back to when I was like 9, 10 years old, we'd get a game called off because of water pitch at Golden Hill. So if the game's called off, you don't sit at home and do nothing. You have to then go for a run. So I'd go and do like a 30-minute run, and he'd be on the bike next to me. And I said, why am I doing this, Dad? And he said, because I guarantee you, not a single lad in your team's doing this. And I'll be like, yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
fair. I mean, it's what's that quote? When talent doesn't work hard, hard work beats talent, something like that.
Yeah, of course.
And the thing is we'll get onto your pro career very, very shortly, but from an external point of view as fans, no one can ever question you as effort-wise. You know, you do the right things, eat right. I mean, you're built like a brick house, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've applied yourself very well. I never knew that your dad was out on that. It must have stemmed
like
from there.
100%. That educated me for everything up to this day. Do you know what I mean? It's about what you do, and also doing things right, because now that's instilled in me. If I don't, I wouldn't be able to do it.
Do you hear your dad's voice in your head sometimes?
Every time.
Well, you hear him in the crowd normally, doesn't it?
If I'm questioning something, I always think back, right, what would he do? Or give him a call. So in terms of that thing called extras, it's been massive for me.
Okay.
And growing up, for all the age groups, I was never, ever the best in the team. There was always lads better than me, like way better than me. But I was a good person, even as a kid. Shook everyone's hand. If someone asked me how am I say I'm good, how are you? Little things like that. And I was competitive and I worked hard. I was easy to coach. If they showed me to do something, I would be quite good and versatile at being taught. So I had a good attitude, and I do put a lot of it down to that. like I said before, having a crumb of talent, but being able to mold somebody.
Yeah. It's almost that feeling of like, you're not going to outwork me.
Yeah.
Like, you can out-talent me, but you won't out-graft me.
No, exactly. And of course, there's little elements of luck along the way. You know, it's not, a little bit of luck here and there, or if that maybe didn't happen, or if that happened. So, yeah, I mean, it's been a good journey.
Yeah.
I've loved every minute of it. I'm so grateful now to be able to have a nice life and nice things and enjoy lots of time, obviously training and being around and doing this for a job is the best thing in the world. Because I call my dad now every morning on the way to training. He's on a building site at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
And I'm driving in for poached eggs on toast to go and to a bit of gym.
Yeah,
and then
that is
go
crazy.
and have a run around
Every
with my
day.
mate.
Yeah, man.
And, don't get me wrong, you have hard times when it's
Yeah, of course.
when it's tough, and trust me, you have some dark days with injuries or losing games because it hurts. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if I can swear on it, but
Yeah, you can, mate.
it fucking hurts.
Yeah.
Like some days on a Sunday, I just don't even want to go out of the house.
Yeah,
this
fair.
is like, we need to go and do something. Like, this isn't healthy
Mm.
because it hurts, and I take it personally, and especially as now blessed to be Bristol Rovers club captain, you do take an extra bit of responsibility, and it does cut that little bit deeper.
Yeah.
You question yourself and you question things, but going back to doing the extras, I know Monday to Friday, if I put the work in, if I do everything I know right in terms of eat right, live right, sleep right, live a healthy, well-balanced lifestyle, because I'm not flipping, like, I'm not just going to sit in the house all day. I'm not a hermit. I have a nice life and I do nice things and I do make the effort. I know that coming into a Saturday takes care of itself. If I've put the work in through the week, no matter what I face, whether it be a mistake, bad result, sending off, an injury, it takes care of itself. I'm so comfortable being in that space because I've put the work in. It's out of my hands now. I've applied myself.
Yeah.
What will be, will be. Whether it be an own goal or anything that goes against you all the time in football. So that's what I put it down to. Yeah, it's about doing the hard work, because then Saturday takes care of itself.
Mate, that's an incredible upbringing, I think. I can just picture your dad pushing you, like, it's like something you see out like Creed or Rocky, pushed you hard. And
at the time, I didn't think anything to it, John.
Just a kid.
And, like, going up to Bath University on a Tuesday night, sat in the back of the car after school and stuff, just thinking, I really need to do this. Like, just going running around a running track with the actual, like, running club.
Yeah.
Like, it was a decent standard, and I got picked because I was quite good at the cross country. But for a lot of these kids, that was their main sport: running, athletics. But for me, it was just, this is a little side thing which ultimately is going to help you with football. And it did. I was always the fittest. I was always the strongest. Like, from doing that horrible stuff, the cross country, Dad used to say, this is horrible, but trust me, this is going to help. And I used to get so nervous, and I didn't used to enjoy it, and be going all over the country, like running around fields for like half an hour at 12, 13 years old, thinking,
I just want to go and play FIFA.
But like, it was the hard graft, which ultimately it puts you in a mindset, and it makes you realize, okay, I am robust, I am mentally strong.
100%.
Because a lot of it is down to that.
Well, I mean, let's get into a bit more of that then. You were in the 15-16 season, you were on the bench twice. What does that feel like? Because I've listened back to interviews, and your interview you did when you first rejoined the club. At one point you said that you knew you were going to be in a matchday squad. You rang your dad saying, I need to go and get a suit.
Yeah.
A question I have for you here says, what was the moment you thought, my God, I'm a footballer? Was it that moment when you were or did it come from when you actually played? What was it like being on the bench at a young age in those type of settings?
It's a good question, because honestly, like, I play football for a living, but never once do I think, oh, I'm a professional footballer. I walk around
interesting.
like it. Like, maybe when I did sign back, literally at the start of the season, I thought, okay, I'm an established senior footballer.
Really? Just the age of what, 26, 27? It kicked in
27, then? I think it honestly kicked in
Mad.
Then, because me and my girlfriend just bought a new house, and getting things like that, it's like, actually, no, I'm an established human, I'm an established man. I work hard for things, I do a job, and it's professional football. And going out to Mansfield and coming back and getting re-signed, and obviously the way that Daryl treated me at the start of the season was like, I'm a seasoned professional footballer as centre back, and it made me feel very confident. I was like, hang on a minute, I actually am. I need to, like, realise that, because your career goes like that. So it definitely wasn't when I was sat on the bench at 17
Okay,
years old
fair.
that I was
Interesting.
Yeah, that's the honest truth answer. It was like literally recently that
That's so.
becoming Rovers
That's
captain
baffling to me.
and walking out at the start of the season as with the captain's armband on and seeing my family there. It's like obviously a couple hundred games under the belt. It's like, okay, yeah, this is
I've made it.
This is real life.
Yeah. I would have assumed potentially, like, obviously coming in from, you got loads of early loans, right? You had your Mangotsfield, your Cirencester, Hungerford, Maidenhead. These are some big names in and around non-league football. Like, what were your experiences there? You don't have to go through each club, but just helpful, because I find, again, in Prem clubs, say Yusuf, for example, right? Drops from Spurs to League Two, but you're dropping, say, from League One to League Two down to your National League South, North, maybe lower. Like how
Southern
Prem. I mean, again, good standard of football. Like, you must have got kicked the shit out of. Like, how did that shape you?
Yeah, going back the previous year, I knew that this was going to be coming, and I was so excited for it, and I was so ready for it. So as a 16-year-old, my first year, I moved out of home at 16, just turned 16, to Diggs in Bristol. And I went to a local gym, which was a 10-minute walk away, and I got myself a gym membership. And that was probably the best thing I ever did.
Okay.
Because every night after training, I'd go up there. The other lads in Diggs just be sat in their beds playing places. And I'd go up there for literally 2 hours, and I'd just do weights.
Yeah.
Probably unhealthy.
Yeah.
And I'd get back, I'd have food, get in the shower, go to bed, rinse and repeat for a year.
Again, the extras, right?
Extras, yeah. I didn't know any different. I knew this is going to help. Like, I need to physically progress here. Football side of things take care of itself, but in terms of physicality, so I always knew that eventually I was going to want to go out and learn and play men's football. And I didn't want to be undeveloped or underprepared for that.
Right.
So I did that for a year, and then obviously was on the bench a couple of times, as you mentioned, and then Mangotsfield was the first one under Boris Mayhew, Dave Mayhew, which I absolutely loved.
Big name.
Yeah, I absolutely loved. In the Southern Prem, he took me out as a 17-year-old. I absolutely loved it. Yeah, played, I don't know how many games I played, maybe 25 odd games, and I absolutely loved it. And played in the non-league level there in the Southern Prem, getting on the coach with the lads and in the club tracksuit, and I absolutely loved it. It wasn't easy, you know. It was, as a 17-year-old playing centre back in that sort of league, and pitches were horrific and stuff
Bobble Central.
Dave Mayhew going mental at people, and lads squaring up and stuff like that. But absolutely loved it and relished it, and so grateful for that season as a 17-year-old. And still then, at that time, I got offered a professional contract at 17. I think it was only a year deal or 2-year deals. So I never had that security of, oh, here's Alfie, he's got a 5-year contract. It's going to take him to 21.
It's a good word, security, isn't it?
I never had that. It was like each year I was scrapping for another contract by like my fingernails, you know what I mean? And I remember some years, maybe the year after that, I went on Cirencester, had my knee injury. And it was like, do we really need to offer you another contract? Basically me saying to him, look, just give me the chance. Give me another year. I'll take less money. Obviously, I don't know if I could say I was on like £125 a week. Do you know what I mean? And a bus pass. So I couldn't drive. When I used to go to them games, the first couple of times on the bench, the first time, I used to get the bus. In a suit, Bristol Rovers tie on, kit bag, stood on the first bus to the men from Filton Avenue. Just like waiting to get off, and then
I wonder what people are thinking at that point.
League 2, League 1, and it's like, that's mental. But so to think of that, and now where I am,
crazy.
Made it all worth it. Do you know what I mean?
This is where I think we should mention the first bit of adversity you faced here, right? At a young age, you suffered a torn ACL and a detached hamstring. Jesus. And I remember watching the interview at that because you signed another pro deal in between your rehab there, and you came back quicker, right? It said 12 months, but you came back in about 10.
Yeah, come back pretty soon,
You are football obsessed. Extras, XYZ, you've been some big loans, bang, taken away. What was that like for your first injury, and how does that affect your kind of day-to-day mental side of things? Look, you seem to me like a really positive guy. You've said you've had dark days.
Yeah, it was tough, and it was one of them things that you just never think would happen to you. So I had a good little loan at Cirencester, and Daryl said, oh, we want you to come back. We got like quite a big section of, I think we used to play in like some sort of league with reserves / under 21s.
Okay.
I think we had a little section of games leading up to like maybe March time. So this was in the December, and our first one was at the Mem.
Yeah.
Against Cinderford or someone, and then literally 10 minutes in, this big fat striker, I've towed the ball out, and he's just fallen on my leg extended, and it was just like a gunshot. It was like bang, and it was horrific, absolutely horrific.
Did you know it was bad when it happened?
Yeah, I knew it was bad. My mentality though has always been the same. Like
run it off.
Most lads are like getting stretched off that. I think I remember crawling off the pitch, standing up, trying to and like my leg just buckled, and I was like, oh no. But no matter what anybody ever says about Bristol Rovers in terms of the treatment, the care, and the straight up looking after that I got was unbelievable. Next day I went down to see Andy Williams, top knee surgeon in London. He's done John Terry, Tyrone Mings, like your top players. And I was booked in with him the next day in full knee, basically reconstruction, 48 staples in my knee.
I love how you're looking at it now, like just remembering it.
Yeah, just remembering it.
Crazy.
So yeah, very grateful for Rovers at that time for looking after me the way they did, because I could have got sent down anywhere just to get the operation. But they sent me to the best of the best. And touch wood, never had a problem with this knee. And I think I've always said everything happens for a reason. I think having that knee injury was probably at that time the best thing that could have happened to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Again, a positive way to look at it.
It absolutely was. And I, like, why me? Why not me? Do you know what I mean? This has happened. It's happened for a reason now.
Crack on.
Can't do anything. I had an operation, I think 2 days later with Andy Williams in London. Went brilliant. 2 weeks later, got the staples out, 48 staples up the side of my knee. And it was horrible, but I used to go to the gym. Do you remember Peter Hartley?
Yeah.
So
scored away at Chelsea.
Yeah, Peter Hartley and like a few other. He was injured at the time, and there was another lad, and then the physios. We would have like gym clubs, so that was at 6:30 every morning at Nuffield, which I go to now.
Okay.
And like back then, I would get in my car when I could drive, obviously, and would go to the gym and just smashed it and got myself as physically strong and built as I could, because I knew that, yes, I've had this injury and I don't want to get back to where I was. I want to get back even better.
Yeah.
And 9 months later, I think so the following September, I was back playing. And felt absolutely fine and felt good and was physically strong, and everybody was a bit like, me, he's come back.
I mean, I remember hearing about it and I was thinking, God, he's back quick. And that interview, in the meantime, you got offered another contract from GAS. That must have been such a big kind of boost of like, even when you're injured, they still want you to get back fit. And I remember you saying in that interview, and we'll come to this later, I dream of being Bristol Rovers captain one day. You said that at 19 years of age.
Yeah.
You then said in the interview again, I don't care where I go, I just want to play. I just want to play football, get back fit, get back going. You then went to your Hungerfords and your Maidenheads after that.
Yeah, so back into that season, I had 3 months at Hungerford. Just got back into men's football, back playing, and it was like a tough one as well, because they were literally the relegation, like bottom of the league. But I was like, I just want to play football.
I just want to play.
Yeah, just get me there. So 3 months there, and we actually stayed up in the last game of the season.
Yeah, seems
by a point. And it was like unreal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? On the back of the bus, having beers and that.
Yeah.
And then I had a good summer. I remember I grafted my nuts off that summer. Literally next day was in with a local S&C CrossFit place and did a full summer. And then went back that season. And that's when I went on loan to Maidenhead, where I feel like everything really sort of clicked into place.
It says here, you made your debut for Maidenhead on TV against Pompey.
Yeah, Portsmouth in the FA Cup. Yeah.
Mad.
Yeah.
How's that? Was that the highest level of opposition you've played at that point?
Definitely. By that point it was.
Yeah, fair.
And it was National League football, and I was like, flipping out, this is proper.
Yeah.
Proper football. And 19, 20 years old, that was unbelievable. To be playing like regularly in National League from where I had come from and the injuries. And so I was just so happy to be there. And I had Alan Devonshire as the manager and good group of lads. And I used to love driving down there. It was part-time still, even though we were in the National League, and Tuesday and Thursday nights. And they didn't really have a training facility. They had the pitch. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's horrific. It's just the biggest slope, smallest change.
What, like actually?
Oh, it's the biggest slope ever.
That's brilliant.
So like going there, it was like we were the underdogs. You know what I mean? I love that mentality of like, nobody wants to come and play us. This is horrible. And London lads are like working, but playing football and still to a decent standard. And they used to have this little 3G pitch, which was like a 5-a-side court.
Right.
And we just used to call it Rage in the Cage. And it was just like a little cage.
Like WrestleMania back in the day.
Rage in the Cage. So we would just get after it for about an hour and a half in there and do a bit of running. And I absolutely loved it. And I think going back to like watching my dad and doing things like that in terms of a non-league circuit, this is brilliant. We had some good days there, and going away to places like Gateshead and on a coach and staying the night and winning, and I absolutely loved it. I got in loads of teams of the week, and I think I scored 4 or 5 goals. Yeah, so it was brilliant. And good group of lads. I'm still in contact with a few of them now. Obviously Alan Devonshire, the West Ham players, manager, and yeah, it was good times.
So that then brings you up to the 18-19 season and your first breakthrough with Gas. You made 4 appearances in that season. It was away at Gills, wasn't it? Yeah. You came on for your debut, right?
It was a Tuesday night.
Tuesday night game, and the scoreline was?
1-0.
Yeah, look at that, mate. He knows his career.
JCH. He was just scoring from everywhere. He just picked it up and just...
Ridiculous baller. Ridiculous baller. Yeah, 1-0 away. That's impressive, by the way, that you know that. You've made your debut for Rovers. How did that feel? Because, look, you've gone so many lower league loans. You've got kicked about. You've been put in extra work in gym membership when other people are like you've got to that point. You've come back from the setback of that almost a year out.
Yeah.
You didn't get long. Jill's away, but Graham Coughlin hands you your debut. Just talk to me about that moment of is like, again, when I asked you when I realised I've made it, it doesn't sound like that was the moment. But what was that feeling of like? How did that conversation go? Did you know you were going to come on?
No, I didn't know I was going to come on. Obviously, was in the squads after my loan, and I think we were hanging on to obviously 1-0. John's
we were under the cosh, mate.
We were under the cosh, and he just said, "You're going on middle or back 3, just head it and kick it." And I was like, perfect. So yeah, no, it was a very special moment for me, and it was literally a couple of minutes. I don't even think I touched the ball.
No, I tried to look back at the highlight. It doesn't show that much, but according to your FOTMOB, I said 0 touches, bro.
Yeah,
I don't think you touched it.
I touched the ball. I think I was just sort of like in there,
doing one of these and squeeze.
But no, it's still very special. And I remember walking off the pitch thinking, no matter whatever happens, I've made my debut.
Yeah, I mean, that is...
Whether it be 2 minutes or 20, I was very happy. And then straight back to that mindset of, I want more of this. Because I want to be out there week in, week out.
You're a Bristol Rovers fan.
Yeah.
You're a Bristol Rovers fan, and you've pulled on the shirt for the Gas. Bro, I think I'd cry. I think at that point, I would cry. Like, because that's the moment. Like, looking back on like all the injuries, all the loans, the hard graft, running at 7 p.m. at night with your dad pushing you on a bike. That's the moment it's happened, and you stay grounded, and it just seems like it hasn't even phased you in that moment. Yeah. It was like, this is not, you savor the moment, but what's next?
Of course, I'd like to enjoy everything, and I have definitely in the recent years got better at that, because I was always of the mindset of don't get too low with the lows, don't get too high.
Right, okay, interesting.
But I appreciate that it's a short career, you've got to enjoy the highs, you know what I mean, and relish them. If we have a good result on a Saturday, once Sunday afternoon comes around, we move on. Yeah, we won on the weekend, but we move on. It's about next week.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, I mean, it was a special moment, like I said, and it was incredible. But then it was, I want more. I want to start a game. I want to make my full debut. I want to then make 10 in a row. So it was like, I enjoyed it. But on the coach on the way back, I'm ringing a few people, ringing me, a few of my mates, a few mum, dad, well done. But then straight away, it's like, on to the next.
Well, what was on to the next? 1920 season. 45 appearances, mate.
Yeah. Crazy, yeah.
That is, I mean, it's not as though you've just kind of tiptoed your way. It's just bang, I'm starting in League One. Bonkers.
Yeah, League One football, yeah.
League One football, and
21 years old.
21 years of age. What is that like? What's the difference in the League One football? Because I watch it and think these guys are mustard. What's that like? What is it like playing against your big, burly, know-how centre forwards in that league? And what's it like at that age, coming from your Mangotsfield side all the way up to League One established footballer at that point?
Yeah, no, it was incredible. And it was like, I don't think I played the first 2 games. And then I started against Cheltenham in the cup, and I think we won 4-1. I had a really good game. And then, obviously, Graham Coughlin as manager, and he was spot on with me, and he got it. Being a centre back himself, and he did really look after me, and he mentored me a lot. And he liked me ultimately.
Yeah.
Hence why he kept me in the picture. He brought me back from my Maidenhead loan, and then next season he gave me my chance. And like little things, maybe a bit of luck along the way, maybe an injury or maybe a suspension. And next thing you know, I was playing, and I was very blessed as well. I had Tony Craig alongside me.
What a player.
Tom Davis. I had Luke Leahy playing left wing back, who was way too good to be a left wing back. He's Wickham, he plays under 10 now.
Yeah, he's a 10, isn't he?
He's a good player.
Yeah.
I mean? So I was very lucky that I had experienced, good players around me. I had Tony Craig, I was playing on the left side, Tony was playing in the middle.
You couldn't ask for a better player alongside you.
He might have left in the summer, but he didn't, and he stayed. You know, for my education, it was perfect. The amount of games he just used to churn out.
He was always fit, wasn't he, as well? Like,
fit, never got injuries, never really got suspended. So for my education, it was unbelievable to have him alongside me and talking to me on and off the pitch and mentoring me was brilliant. And I played 46 games that season at 21 in League One.
Incredible.
It was incredible. And even that season, we faced adversity. Obviously, Graham left and Ben Garner come in, and then was it COVID as well?
COVID hit.
So it was like crazy, really. But I got the trophies. I got goal of the season and player of the season.
Yeah. So let me just rewind to that goal of the season, mate. February 2020 rolls around. I'll be honest, I didn't know you had it in you. Blackpool at home, the ball comes to you, and I'm not going to tell you. I've got a question for you later about this goal. I saw you look up, right? And I'm not going to say it's Vincent Kompany moment where, Aguero saying, don't shoot. But I remember thinking, he's hitting this.
Yeah.
Talk me through the moment of that goal, mate. Where did that come from?
Well, that was a little bit of an out-of-body experience. I think we were on a bit of a run of losing.
Yeah.
We were 1-0 down. They were down to 10 men, so the pitch just sort of opened up to me. It's one of them, like the seas.
Like Moses, and you could see it.
I had a touch, and it was just bouncing ever so slightly. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to fucking smash it. So I just let it go, and just, perfect. Obviously, there was a bit of a breeze. It was just sitting up, and I just caught it perfectly. And it started low, and it just topped it. So that feeling was unbelievable. Obviously, that made it 1-1, but if that was a winner,
you're jumping in the platform, then, aren't you? Unbelievable.
But it was one of them. It's like, we need to go and win this.
Yeah.
So obviously I had a bit to celebrate. I remember seeing my mum and dad in the stand. And
giving it that's the picture, innit? When it,
and sort of telling them to get the ball and let's go on and win, which we did.
You did.
Yeah, no, special memory. And
have you watched it back?
It's one of them. Like, people probably mention it to me.
Right. Okay. Interesting. I thought you were going to say at least 5 times.
I don't really watch it back, but when I do, it's like,
what a hit, mate. I mean, that season, look, you really established yourself into the Rovers setup at that point. And you mentioned Tony Craig. You mentioned real players that I can imagine were really, really definitive in your career. A question to you is as well, and I'm stealing this from a fan, but is there any player that, if you had to look back now in your time as a footballer up until this point, 27, 28 next week, right? Who's the player really that kind of helped you the most on and off the pitch? If you had to pick, is it a Craig? Is it a Hartley? Is it someone that we might not expect?
Them two players you just mentioned were massive. Obviously, Hearts, I'm still in contact with now.
Right.
What a guy he was. And he had a very similar mentality to me. So when I was injured, seeing how he was in terms of the graft, the effort he put in to get back fit, and the straight up mentality of being a winner, being a warrior, was really instilled in me, and he was a good guy. And he wasn't too he liked the beer, and he wasn't too overly professional. And
interesting.
So he had a bit of a different. But to see how he was as a person on and off the pitch was good education for him. He's a top man, and he didn't take life too seriously as well. He liked the crack, he liked the banter. It was good to be around, and especially when I was in the trenches, so to speak, coming back from an injury.
Yeah.
Being him, having him by my side, and doing bits and pieces with him was top draw, and very grateful for that. And then obviously going on a few years with Tony Craig was great for my education.
There are two players that I think of when I think of the word loud, it's Coots and Craig. Where I sit now, West Stand, he was the loudest bloke I've ever heard in my life, Tony Craig. Now, when I see you play, I can hear you on that pitch. I can hear, your small words and stuff, and that you are really commanding. And do you pick up tips and tricks from players like those?
Yeah, I mean, with Tony, it was week in, week out, even on the training pitch.
Oh, really?
He was a leader.
Right.
Small-sided games, if you make a block on the line, he was like fist bumping.
You need that though.
He was like fist bumping that, like it meant the world to him. So seeing him be like that, I was like, I'm a bit like that. I need to lean into that. Do you know what I mean? I love defending. I love doing a goal line clearance. I love heading one off the line. So seeing him like that, it was like, no, I'm actually okay to embrace that and want to be a winner and show that. So he was a top leader.
He really was.
And yeah, he probably would say himself, he was by no means the best footballer in the world. Do you know what I mean? He was a Maldini, but he made the most of what he was. He wasn't the biggest, he wasn't the strongest, he wasn't the quickest, and yet he's played 700 odd games.
It's mental.
In the AFL. So
people can dream of a career like that, you know.
So how can that be? But it's from a mindset and a mentality of week in, week out, being
For sure.
relentless, being a winner, being a competitor, and ultimately absolutely maximising your potential to the heights of whatever, getting every last little bit out.
Extras as well. Was he an extras guy?
Tone was, after training, they would get the lads to cross them in, and he would practice heading, and we would like alternate and stuff.
Really,
like that.
that's good to hear.
As a 21-year-old, when he's 35, coming to the end of his career, it was top draw. And we didn't start off on the best terms either, because I sort of come in pre-season. Obviously, Tone knew about me, and then he obviously played the first couple of games of the season. I played against Cheltenham in the cup, and then we had Coventry away on Saturday. And I think Graham Coughlin's called him in his office. He won't mind me saying this. He said, "Oh, Alfie starting left side centre back, going to a 4, and Alfie, Tom Davis, Luke Leahy, maybe Mark Little, flipping launched a chair in his office, stormed off, sat in his car
that
for an
is
hour." And I thought, fuck me, if that matters that much to him at 35 years old, coming to the end of his career, he's earning good money, he's got his house sorted, like this is a big deal. And it was sort of like a eye-opener to me that, fuck me, you're not taking the shot off me that easy, mate. You know what I mean? Young buck coming in at 21, thinking he can just... But luckily, we then started playing together. So it was a back three, went to a back three, back five, and I played on the left, Tone played in the middle. And yeah, the mentor and the leadership and how he helped me. And even when he left Rovers, he would still give me the odd call.
Yeah.
So, it's brilliant. And yeah, he was a top guy and really looked after me.
We then go into the 2021 season. COVID, kind of know what happened there, obviously with the relegation and stuff. So I don't want to scrap off that relegation, obviously, because you can make excuses, no fans, etc. But that was your first real taste of a really maybe tough season. How was that season for you as a player in the relegation battle? Did it make a difference with no fans in the stadium, do you think? Or do you think maybe we were tipped for a little bit more if we had fans? How did that feel on the pitch?
It was horrific, going out every week just as empty. And getting changed. We used to have to get changed. Like, we couldn't have music on in the change room, and it was a weird
have music on?
Well, like, we wouldn't be sat all together.
Ah, yeah, right, yeah, social distancing.
We would still, we might have a couple players there,
I never
someone
thought
around
of that.
the corner in a different room. Oh, man, it was so weird. It was weird season, and looking back now, we just didn't have the right characters, the right attitudes, and it was just all wrong. We were in the Coombe training ground.
Okay.
We used to train over there, and then halfway through the season we moved to the quarters, but the course wasn't finished. And it was only
like a
one
demolition site for a bit, wasn't
it?
it?
Was basically like a building site.
Yeah.
It was just like, it was all wrong. It was a tough season, but for me it was a lot of learning. And still at that point, at only 22, playing League One, albeit we got relegated, I was just grateful to be playing football and to be Bristol Rovers footballer and to be out there week in, week out, getting the games in. I remember learning, and occasions I did speak up in certain things, but it was a year which I knew it wasn't quite my place yet.
Right.
As a 22-year-old, and not having played like one season the season before, and the change in managers, and it was like I was just trying to survive and get through it, knowing that next year's a new year and it will be all okay. And tough times don't last, but tough people do, sort of mentality, you know what I mean, trying to get through it. A tough year, but ultimately it was a lot of learning, and if that didn't happen, you wouldn't have had one of the best days in
So I'm going to cover this because 2022 for me was a really tough year, right? For me personally. But that moment was probably one of the best days of my life. Now I wanted to speak to you about this because you were part of it, don't get me wrong, but you weren't a huge part because you had injury setbacks again in that season. It says here again, knee problems. I'm guessing from earlier, it's not the same knee.
No, it was a different knee. I was a little bit in and out under Joey.
Yeah, a little bit.
And then I had quite a good run of games, maybe like 10 odd games, going in December into the January, maybe beginning of Feb, and I played against, I can't remember who it was, but I passed the ball back, my left knee, and I'd taken a bit of a whack at the start of the game where I'd come down on it funny, and I was like, oh, that was sore. And I iced it stupidly at half time, for like 15 minutes, just my knee was just like frozen solid.
Wow.
And I wrapped it back with my left foot, and my knee just felt like a crack and like just stiffened up straight away. So crawling off the pitch again, getting hobbled off, I thought, oh fuck, here we go,
yeah,
sort of thing. Went and had a scan, and I tore my meniscus quite badly, so I had an operation a few days later, and then just the roller coaster of trying to get back fit. My knee kept swelling up. I was having to get my knee drained, then steroids put
fluid
in.
off your knee.
Yeah, literally, I'd go to train, and by the time I got paid, my knee would be like huge.
Crazy.
Yeah, so it was tough. And then I had to have another operation down in London, and luckily that fixed it. And I was just maybe starting to do a bit of training coming into the last week of the season when that crazy day happened. And it was hard. I remember saying to my dad, I feel a bit like imposter syndrome. Do you remember them few late results that we had? And then
Rochdale,
obviously that's
Limbs, by the way, Limbs.
Port Vale.
Yeah, Rob Lofty, logging the keeper.
Lofty, yeah.
I've never seen. I don't think he's ever done that before.
He's a good lad, to be fair. Yeah, so I did say to my dad, like, I feel like a little bit of an imposter there. He said, remember, it's over 42, 44 games of a season. Right. It's not just these last 10. I played in results at the start of the season or coming into December, January, which were big games.
Massive games.
Looking back now, if you didn't quite get the result there, you wouldn't now be where you are. So I was like, yeah, in hindsight, yeah. So
again, positive attitude.
Yeah, that's it. Positive.
Interesting. That's really good.
Yeah, so it was an unbelievable day and just absolutely scenes, and to be a part of it, albeit that season, to be on the pitch after the game down Cross Road on the lamppost and getting stealing. It was super special and great times, and ultimately going back into League One football, which was important.
That is what this club can do. They're like, I remember interviews around that 7-0. I think Anderson did a really interesting interview when after the game or a couple of years later, and saying that if we needed 10, we would have scored 10.
Yeah.
That is, I mean, I've never seen Evans standing over the ball for the free kick. I said to Dad, this is going in.
Yeah, you
like,
can just tell.
You just know it's going in. Like I've never seen anything like it in my life, and it
was like a miracle, wasn't it?
It really was. I've never seen a team and a fan base really in simpatico so much in that game. We were going up that day.
Yeah, everybody knew we were going to win 7-0.
It's crazy.
9-0, whatever it took, and it was happening.
Yeah.
So it's just unbelievable. Yeah.
My next question to you is a bit of a silly one, but how the flipping heck did you get up that lamppost, mate?
I don't know. Especially considering I was about 4 weeks post knee. So
I was going to say.
You must have just climbed up. But yeah, that's class.
That season, it was like the stuff of dreams. Was there a moment in that season where we thought, hang on a minute here, like we're in some unbelievable form? Was it just on that last game where we thought we're going up? Was it Rochdale? Was it Port? Or was it a consistent thing? You always had it in your back of your head, we're good enough to go up? Or was there a moment?
We knew we were good enough to go up, and it was like we just couldn't lose. Do you remember? It was just like we couldn't lose. We were playing so well, and it was just like almost just become too easy, didn't it?
It was
real,
joke.
Yeah, unbelievable. Again, a manager that sort of galvanised to a certain degree, and like made good signings in the January. Obviously, bringing in Elliot.
I'm going to cover him in a minute, mate.
Yeah, so like it just everything just clicked into place.
Yeah. In
terms of the fans, the club, the players, and when that happens. For Bristol Rovers, just take off. It's just like it's electric.
It's the vibes are unmatched.
Vibes are crazy. Yeah.
I remember Joey in that season saying, "We just lost to Exeter, wasn't it?" And he said, "We'll get promoted."
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
August or September time, we were like near the bottom.
I know, and he was getting clipped.
Made no bones about it. That's what he used to say.
Yeah.
Get promoted, everybody was laughing.
and look at what we did. You mentioned Elliot. I think in my lifetime, one of the most talented players I've ever seen touch grass at the Men. Talk to me about him off on the pitch. He has so many good things to say about Rovers. What was he like playing against, training against? What was that like? I can't even imagine.
Yeah. I don't think he used to like it, but I used to foul him all the time.
Right, okay.
So I just couldn't get the ball off him, so
Fair.
I just like foul
Take him
him.
down.
Yeah, I could tell. I used to get pissed off, but fairly quiet lad.
Okay.
Very humble. Worked hard, did his gym, and was unbelievable at football.
Because you can have some ego, surely, right? You look at your Elliots, and I look at Yusuf this season, and I worry, like, your Prem players coming down on, like, there's an arrogance, there's an ego, but he just didn't feel like that.
He didn't have that. He wasn't flash. He wasn't arrogant. He wasn't the big I am. He come on loan and he took it by the scruff of the neck and just absolutely ran with it. And he was so strong. Like, flipping hell. Like, big centre backs used to bounce off him. He was like 18 years old, and it was like weird strength. Like, he would just give someone a nudge, they go flying, mate.
He was
just, and like, in terms of his talent, it was just,
it
wasn't anything special either. Like, it was like the basics done so well. Do you know what I mean? Like, getting at players so direct, almost like that naivety.
Right.
Being a young lad, coming in and playing, not being scared to just, I'm just going to take someone on. I'm going to knock it past them and run. Nothing like overly special. I'm not saying he was like doing 20 step overs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, he wasn't though.
Going in, cutting in on his right foot and just smashing it in the top corner. Like,
it's insane.
Like, basic stuff, but like, just done so well.
Such a high level.
High level, like his touch, his quality, his speed, his strength, his like naivety, just to be so direct. Like, he would just get the ball, give someone a nudge, face him up, and he would just knock it past him. Like, not flicking over their heads or anything, but just the talent and the like sheer directness just made him different. It just made him so good for that league.
And then for him to score that goal.
That's what, even the header. Like, if you look at the header, some header that.
Yeah,
the lead. Head it down. Like, that could have gone anyway. He could have maybe tried heading it back the way it come, but to get up and head it down, even that, people don't understand like how tough that is. In like what, the 85th minute after he's just ran his nuts off for 90 minutes, like.
That's really insightful, actually. I wouldn't have considered that. Yeah.
Little things like he's probably just ran back. He's then ran forward. He's like here, there, and everywhere. So to like do that, score that goal, that just sums him up. And he was a great lad. Like I said, he wasn't flash. He was humble. He was hardworking. He was fairly quiet. Just went about his business and take my hat off. Look where he is now. You know.
Best player you played with, maybe?
Definitely. Yeah.
Really? Yeah. You mentioned World Cup as well.
Yeah.
If he's not in that squad, I mean, there's something wrong.
Yeah, no, he'll be going money.
It's incredible, and this is what I said to you earlier about the level. It's good quality stuff, and there's little bits of magic from those players. It's remarkable. Let's move on into your next season. It was a little bit stop-start, and there was a big change of scenery. You joined Mansfield in the January of 2023. What kind of ultimately made that decision? I mean, we have an opinion as a fans of what happened. It might have been as simple as Alf's not as much as in the team as much anymore, therefore look for passage anew. But what ultimately brought that move around? Because it was weird seeing you in yellow, mate, I'll be honest.
Yeah, no, felt weird to start with.
Yeah,
as you'd imagine. Yeah, obviously League One, and then brought in some good players, you know what I mean? Like Bobby Thomas just got promoted to the Premier League with Cov. Obviously Connor Taylor, James Conley, so like good players, and I was maybe a little bit out of favour, and I was okay with that. But I knew that I was going to do everything I could, whether it be January or the end of the season, that I was probably going to be moving on, because I wanted to play football. Since day one, I've always said I just want to play football, I want to be out there, that's what makes me feel good, that's what I love and relish and enjoy. So every day I'd go to the training ground, I'd eat the food, I'd use the gym, I'd go and have some extra chicken breasts, do you know what I mean? Like, because I knew ultimately, alright, if I'm not playing football, then I need to use this facility, this club, this coaching, this training pitch, that gym to the best of my ability to better myself, because I'm a mortgage player, I've got bills to sort out,
of course.
it's my life at the end of the day, and I need to be in the best position possible to then kick on.
And this is so interesting, because the reason I want to do this podcast is to, like, if you're on 70 grand a week in the Prem and you're not playing, maybe it is what it is.
Happy days, yeah.
But it's not like that.
No.
You're playing for a career, like,
Yeah.
I know you haven't been released by Rovers, but let's just say you get a release by a club in League Two, you know. It's not a guarantee you're going to stay EFL, like so you prepped right just for maybe what was going to come.
I've always been a preparer, and like I was almost preparing for the end of the season, even when, and I still was getting on here and there and starting. And, but I knew long term I can't do this for another 2 years or a year. I think I had an extra year on my contract. I knew that was like, I'm not, because I need to play football. And to be fair to Joey, like, he was top drawer of me. Like, his coaching, his football knowledge, his nous, how he articulated on the training pitch, I absolutely loved, and I learned so much. Albeit he could rip someone if he needed to, but I'm not crying. Like, I don't mind that. I'm not a crybaby. I'm not gonna. It's absolutely fine with me, you know. Like, so I really enjoyed working under him, and then obviously Mansfield in the January come in for me, and paid a bit of money, and I went up there, and it was thoroughly enjoyed it. And it was a change of scenery, which I feel like I needed in terms of life. And going back to that question of feeling like a footballer, like, you know, getting a move, so to speak, changing club. And don't get me wrong, that first day that I was up in Mansfield and I was driving through Kirkby and Ashfield and driving to the training ground, and it was about -5, I was like, fuck, what? Like, but absolutely loved it, and good lads there as well. Obviously Ollie Clark was there and he looked after me, and some good players, Lucas Akins, Stephen Quinn, Davis Keller-Dunn.
Baller.
Absolutely loved it, and Nigel Clough was a manager who's old school. Some good stories and some great memories of being based up there, and really enjoyed it.
From fans' point of view, right, we see club statement, we'd like to thank Alfie for his services in the blue and white quarters. He's joined Mansfield Town, How does that happen behind the scenes? You don't just, I'll sign. How does that work? Your agent speaks to you, like, how does that move come around in the behind the scenes?
Your agent, and he's like the middleman between the two clubs. Obviously Bristol Rovers said, Mansfield have offered us X, Y and Z, and would you consider going up there? So then I would go up to Mansfield. I literally went up to Mansfield that day. Met obviously Nigel on the training ground, and showed me to the clubhouse and the gym and all the facilities, went to the stadium. Come home and was like, I want to do it. I'm gonna go for it, sort of thing. Everything being right in terms of money, and also I spoke to my mum, my dad, and it was the right decision for me at the time. And it was an experience that I was looking forward to, and I knew it wasn't going to be easy. I knew it was going to be tough. I knew it was going to be horrible. I was going to be away from home. I was going to be in a new environment, but I enjoyed that.
You seem like you don't shy away from that.
I quite enjoyed it, and it was a bit like, again, that back's against the wall, and I was going to work. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't. People do that all the time. People go and work away from home. I wasn't scared or afraid of that. I'd have family. My dad's worked away. My granddad worked away, and it was like, that's what I need to do. That's what I need to do, and I'll do it. Absolutely enjoyed it. And that first sort of 5 odd months I had up there was brilliant. I played 24 games and scored 4 goals.
Scored on your full debut as well.
Yeah, it was scored on my full debut, and then February, March, April I got players of the months for Mansfield, and so everything clicked into place. But I just put that success down to the mindset and the mentality that I had when I was still at Rovers. For the 6 months before, do you know what I mean? And obviously it's a team sport and it's a club sport, but ultimately I was looking after myself because I knew Bristol Rovers I was going to be moving on. For both sides. But absolutely loved it there, and had some great times and some tough times. Some of the toughest times I've ever experienced in my life as well.
You also played alongside Aidan Flynn. As a City legend at that club, right? And I'll also start off by saying, what a player. What a player. And he gets it every time he plays against us, right? But how did that feel when you were playing with, it's Rovers and City, or was it just two professionals,
I think it was just two professionals, which from mad careers had found themselves playing next to each other and being good mates and having each other's back on that football pitch on a Saturday, which is what mattered, and seriously having each other's back. So absolutely top guy, top professional as well, and he gets stick, but if you think you're giving him stick, he absolutely loves it.
I know.
He's had it his whole career and he honestly loves it.
He looks like he relishes in it.
He relishes it. Probably bought some of that stick on himself as well, so he knows it's coming, so it's not like he's not prepared for it, so he enjoys it. But in terms of a person, obviously I'd never met Flinty before. I think I played against him when he was at Cardiff a couple of times. So I didn't know what to expect, but in the change room he's a top guy. And he's down to earth and he's funny, and again he looked after me. Because obviously I'm a bit lot younger than him. When I was there I was 25. And he was a top man to me, and we got on very well, and we had that mutual respect of both being winners and warriors, and knowing that we're not the best footballers in the world, but we'll be out there no matter what, having a tear up, trying to head things, trying to kick things. And it is what
you
it
need
is.
that.
I mean,
roll around August 2023. Was it 5 games in?
About 5-6 games in,
You do one of probably the worst injury you can do as a footballer. 418 days out. Look, you spoke me through your first injury with Rovers. There's an injury and then there's an injury. 14 months out, bro.
Yeah.
I said to you before we started recording, one of my favourite things about you is your mental resilience. Like, I'm getting it from you now. It's like, I didn't shy away from this stuff when I try my best to look positively and throw myself into it and come back again and be better. That must have been a hard injury to have. 418 days out when you are guaranteed number 5 on the back of the shirt, guaranteed starter. How did that season pan out for you? You said about dark times. I can imagine this is what you were alluding to.
Yeah, it was so tough, so tough. Had the best pre-season I probably ever had. Felt so fit, so strong. Never had Achilles injuries in my life. Never had tendonitis, nothing. In the first 4 games of the season, I remember I called my dad and I said, "We've got a right chance this season. Like, we don't look like losing. We won every game." And then Doncaster away, 10 minutes in, mental, just flinty, playing alongside him. Went up for a header. Obviously, as a centre back, I covered him. He's headed it 40 yards like he does. So I just wanted to push off, and it was just like a bang, like smack.
So it didn't even come from contact?
No contact, no. Just step back to push off to run, and then I just felt like it felt like somebody had ran behind me and stamped on my calf, like on my ankle. Like I thought the striker had just stood on it. Obviously turned around like to the ref. Yeah. No one was there, and I've just gone, oh fuck. Like I just knew. You knew, I knew straight away. My dad was there. I was captain that game as well. I was so fit. That was probably one of the toughest moments. Physio knew I'd ruptured my Achilles. I knew it. In the space of 2 hours, I'd gone out League 2 feeling the fittest I'd ever felt, thinking we're going to win the league this year, no doubt. And I'm going to play in every single game. Like, no question. Just
got in the captain's armband a fair few times as well.
Yeah, obviously Ollie Clark was playing. He was club captain, but he was in and out. So every time we then got given to me. So I was 25 years old. So it was like, for in the space of 2 hours, I'd gone out, leading the lads out, and Doncaster away as captain. 2 hours later, I was getting helped in the shower by my dad, butt naked. My dad having to like lower me down.
Wow. So
how do you mentally go from being up there, feeling like the man, feeling so strong, so robust, just like invincible almost? 2 hours later, I'm getting like lifted in by my dad.
God.
Naked, just like, what the fuck has happened?
Jesus.
Do you know what I mean? And then it's like the mindset of how you get around that. Obviously went and had my scan, just confirmed obviously ruptured my Achilles, and then it was just an absolute nightmare from then on in for 15, 14 months basically. Infections, scar tissue, slight re-rupture, more infection. So I was just battling away. I feel like in terms of life, I probably wasn't at my happiest as well. So I feel like that did have an effect in terms of things away from football. So I feel like everything was just building up. But once I got through that side of it, I managed to obviously get back playing. Again, it was just learning. The amount of learning and developing I did, just from going through them experiences, meeting new people, doing things. Obviously the lads got promoted that year, we went to Vegas, and still enjoying the ride, obviously fighting my own battles and getting through it day in, day out, living in Mansfield by myself, coming home when I could, getting through the rehab, sitting in the gym by myself, day in, day out, being in Mansfield by myself with the physio. Bleak, dark times. I mean, away from my family, away from my mum and dad.
I watched a day in the life video, Mansfield, you and Will Evans. He seems like a nice chap, by the way.
Top lads, You
sat down on a sofa similar to this, and you said, "I don't even recognise myself before this injury." What did you mean by that? Because you never went into more. Is mental resilience or different? Did you learn a different hobby?
Just in terms of the adversity that I had to face in that period is mental. Coming home, my scar's hurting, it's killing, like trying to walk. I've got a bad infection, here's antibiotics. Okay, the antibiotics aren't working, we need to open you up again. Another operation, the scar was infected, you had to build up a scar tissue. Going away, getting like another pop feeling, ruptured it again, another operation. Coming back from that operation, my scar's not healing. Why is my scar not healing? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm 25 years old. I've never had anything like this before. With my knee, it was like day 10, it was like fully healed up and perfect. So it was like, something's not right here, do you know what I mean? For this to keep happening. And I thought it was me, but if I put my hand on my heart, see things away from football, I think I was unhappy. And I think I wasn't okay with things, and things weren't right. So I put a lot of that stress down to my body reacting in a certain way and not recovering well, and kicking back on me on certain things in terms of keeps getting infected, which only now I learn. And I think I put it down to certain things not being okay with mentally, physically, and like also going back to this season's been tough. Sometimes I feel like the fans can forget lads have things going on. Do you know what I mean? Obviously we're professional footballers and we appreciate that, but
you're a human.
We're human. We got people having kids, certain things going on. Obviously with Sparksy this year, as I'm sure you know, and hard things, and parents being unwell, or things away from football which people just maybe forget about. But we're normal lads at the end of the day. We're young lads. We're not like 45-year-old blokes that have got it all figured out. We're all learning. We're all like trying to get on with this mad thing which is called life. I think me going back to being injured, it was tough, and it was a real kickback in terms of my body wasn't reacting well. But I do put that down to being unhappy in terms of certain aspects of my life. But obviously, will towards me getting back, I had a clubhouse which I rented, but I'd get lads in to try and pay the rent off. Do you know what I mean? So it worked well. But Will moved in with his girlfriend Lucy, and they were unbelievable to me and helped me massively.
What a player as well, by the way.
Great player and a great lad. One of the nicest people you ever meet in football.
That's good to hear.
Unbelievable. And again, had a different upbringing and education in terms of football-wise to me. Sort of played non-league Welsh football, went to college, did a bit of a degree, would teach. At the college, played non-league, got moved to Newport. So did so well for himself. Like went to university and like just a normal lad, and that's why we got on so well.
I watched you in that video as well. Sorry to cut you. You were both at a coffee house, and you were fighting over who's going to pay. You were both like, I'm going to pay. No, I'm paying. It seemed like you got on really well for him, and hopefully that gave you a bit of a lift towards.
Yeah, it opened my eyes in moving in, and again, just luck of the draw, he signed for Mansfield. Didn't have anywhere to live, and I said, he's like, I'm with my girlfriend and Lucy, and I was like, just come and live here. Like, if you need somewhere to stay, you just come and stay with me. Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely fine. So I helped them out massively, and then they ended up helping me out. Just a top lad and funny and light-hearted, and seeing them together, and it was just beautiful to be in, beautiful to be around, and gave me that last little push to ultimately getting back on a football pitch and back playing, which I did after all that time, and it was a great feeling to be back out there.
Football fans go to football for their mental health, right?
Absolutely.
Like I no matter the results that's happened this season, and we'll come on to that, it's seeing my dad, it's seeing Hayner, it's having me orange juice and lemonades, it's the camaraderie, it's in some aspects, it's seeing you on the pitch, beforehand, and talking to the players after the game, which is something I love about the EFL football, like walking past and you've got your injured boys there, you can say hello to your promises and that stuff. It just feels like a community. It's lovely.
It's togetherness.
It's great. My question to you is, what's your number one rule for your mental health? You alluded that maybe you weren't happy at that time. Is there something that you implement? Because I guess playing football for you, yes, it's freedom, yes, it's passion, but fundamentally it is a job. Do you have that same release? Do you want to play for? Is it the same feeling for you, or is there something else that you do for your mental health?
In terms of that, I mean, Holly, my girlfriend, she's unbelievable. Like, we went to school together, but since we got together, she's one of them people that's just get up and go. Do you know what I mean? She doesn't say no to anything. She's going to go and do that. She'll do that. Like, holiday, yes, we're going on holiday. Oh, we got a weekend off. Should we go away? Do you want to go for a walk? Whereas before, I might just stay inside and just walk around and stuff. But that get up and go is so important for me, and I've only just realised that now in the last 2 years.
You learn something every day.
Absolutely. In the last 2 years, I was like, holy shit, this is what life is. Do you know what I mean? And it's experiencing things and enjoying things away from football, because football, like you said, is my job. I do that for a living. That's work. So I try and compartmentalise certain aspects. Obviously, non-negotiables: sleep, eating, healthy diet, being an active person in terms of whether that's going for a walk, going to my sister's Pilates studio, going to the gym if needed, going to the spa with Holly, doing things like that. It's important, but yeah, I mean, just getting up and getting out, and doing things and being around family and seeing my mum and dad, seeing friends. Yeah, that's what I do. And if I am struggling, like I said, I call my dad every day on the way to training.
Yeah.
And I know that he's on a building site at 7 o'clock every morning. So if I'm moping around, going to a nice training ground to see my mates, to have a kick around, to put in some hard work, to have nice food, to live as a professional athlete, which is the biggest privilege ever, to look after my body and my mental health and every day, then it's okay, do you know what I mean? And I love it. And I appreciate how proud I make people in terms of my mum and dad, which makes me feel good, obviously, you know? Barrow away, my dad come up to the game.
Yeah.
On the coach. That sat in pouring rain after being at work.
That was biblical weather as well, mate.
And he never overdoes it either. He gave me a thumbs up, gave me a clap, blew me a kiss, and off he went. Got on the coach, he then got in his car, he then drove to where he was working the next day at 3 in the morning. He then slept in his car and got up to go to work the next day.
Wow.
And that's not normal. So in terms of like making people proud, that's what I do it for. Because that's not normal behaviour from anyone. Going up to Barrow to watch. And he wouldn't have it any other way either. Granted, it's not like, oh, he would not have any other way. But he then got the coach back, got in his van, his work van. He then drove to work where he was working the next day to sleep on the building site in the back of his, within his apron bag. Like, that's not normal.
That's commitment to his
and
boy.
He didn't tell me at the time because he knew I wouldn't be able
Yeah,
to
he
do
would
it.
say, yeah. You mentioned the word pride. Let's rewind then to last summer.
Yeah.
You signed for Bristol Rovers again. You made it very clear in that interview, you never shut the door on Rovers. You always wanted to come back if the opportunity happened. You come back, then you get given the captain's armband.
Yeah.
You talk about pride. You're a gashead. Again, we were speaking before the podcast. I can feel your passion for this club. You said it 8 years ago. I want to be Bristol Rovers captain. You're sat here. I can see you smiling on this
it's
sofa.
Just mad that interview's still out there.
It's crazy. You manifested that. You are Bristol Rovers captain as a Bristol Rovers fan.
And we started at the club at 8 years old.
And starting at the club at 8 years old. What does that feel like? And look, I know you're going to say it's a privilege, but give me more. What does it feel like to be the Bristol Rovers captain? We are a huge club and you represent our football club.
It is the best feeling in the world.
Mad.
I remember Darryl pulled me in his office, told me, he said, this season you're going to be Bristol Rovers club captain, I want you to be my skipper. X, Y and Z. I was like, held it together, yeah, cheers, thank you, I really appreciate it. It's an absolute honour to represent you and it's an honour to represent this incredible football club which has done so much for me. I remember I went into the change rooms a bit, got my car key and just went and sat in the car for like 5 minutes because I was just like, oh, you know what I mean? You know, you get a bit emotional. It was like, rung my dad, obviously rung Holly, rung my mum and put in our family group chat and stuff that I was going to be skipper for the season. But it is the most incredible feeling and the honour that I have for representing this club with the captain's armband. And realistically, it doesn't actually change. How I play and how I treat life and football and Bristol Rovers is whether I've got that armband on or not on a Saturday, I would be the same, but to still have that recognition and to one day, hopefully in 10 years when I hang my boots up, no one's ever going to be able to take that away from me, that I represent Bristol Rovers as club captain and all them hard yards throughout the years, even as a kid, through going to Mansfield, through getting asked to mutually sort of leave Bristol Rovers and then to come back and then to be full circle and get given a captain's armband and to represent this club in that way is the best honour in the world, and still can't quite believe it, get my head around it. Sometimes it's like you forget and I'm like, oh my god, yeah, this is a big deal, you know?
It's a huge deal.
It's huge, like, because I'm just going through the motions of training, playing games, and you can get lost a little bit with just the results, but then in hindsight, if I step back and look at myself and think about being Bristol Rovers club captain, it's an incredible achievement, and it's one that makes myself and my family and everyone incredibly proud, and it's absolutely incredible. I'm so fortunate and so lucky, so blessed to have that honour. What
actually changes when you are a club captain? You just said it doesn't change but is there more responsibility? Like, is there more media duties, more X, Y, Z? Like, what actually does change as a captain, or is it just, do you still apply yourself the same?
I apply myself exactly the same. I wouldn't change a thing. But in terms of, you are a figurehead.
Yeah.
So when Fab moved over from Switzerland, again, just into football, had an unbelievable season, but it was hard for him. Couldn't drive, staying in the clubhouse, away from his girlfriend, away from his family. So I took him up to Cribs Causeway and got him a suit, because he needed a suit. And he got him a suit, got him all fitted up. So little things like that. Mies, obviously he's come over as well, so he's been coming to Bath a lot, and we've been getting some food and trying to help and mentor him, because it's not easy, you know. And like, I maybe didn't quite have that when I went up to Mansfield, albeit a different level, but it was like just chucked in the deep and sort of sink or swim. So tickets, sort of media duties, of course, is all slightly heightened, but in terms of the start of the season, I was very ready for that, and I felt like it was the right step for me personally. I wanted to be captain. I wanted to have that responsibility. I wanted to be seen as somebody who's responsible and trustworthy and consistent, you know, like a proper footballer and a proper man in terms of how I conduct myself. So yeah, I was ready for that next step, and it was a great honour. And obviously, like any professional sportsman, you get a bit of criticism along the way, and that's granted of being the captain, and you have to take that on the chin. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, everybody's entitled to their views, and everybody pays their hard-earned money to come and watch. So you maybe do get a little bit more criticism because you've got your armband on. It's your responsibility. You should be this or that.
You signed up for this, yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm fully aware of that, and the only side things which I do find hard is obviously I do take more responsibility in terms of when I go home and we're on a bad run or we're losing games, or I do obviously question myself. I think, what am I doing wrong? Could I be doing this? Could I be doing that? But going back to people that I learned from, you know, your Tonys, your Paul Coots, I always just think, what would they do in this situation? So we've had some tough times this season. In terms of the season, being first time as club captain, it's been unbelievable for me as learning and flipping lows in the trenches, the bottom tiers, people looking, telling me we're going to be getting relegated, and stuff like this, to then the good runs and everything. I get it. Yeah, we've had some tough times in terms of in the changing room, you know, having team meetings, pulling the lads in, saying this isn't fucking good enough. You know what I mean? Like, what? Let's go around. What does everybody think? Because we're in the shit. We need to get ourselves out. So having that responsibility and stepping up to the plate and having the confidence to do that has been massive for me, and I didn't have a choice. It was, no, I need to do this because we're in a terrible situation here, and it's down to me to galvanise the lads, because they're all looking around, pointing at each other or doing this or doing that, or what, this is going wrong, or pointing at whoever, when ultimately we need to look at ourselves. So the ones that are out on a Saturday. So yeah, absolutely love this season, albeit fuck me, it was hard sometimes.
Yeah, I was just going to allude to the 10 losses in a row, 8 wins, right? In every interview I saw from everyone, no one could ever put their finger on what was going on. What was happening? What was hindsight now? And we're going to get onto the nice end of the season, but hindsight now, what was going wrong in those 10 losses, or is it still an enigma?
I feel like with anything, whether it be good or bad, there's never just one thing.
Yeah, no, right.
It's never just, well, we were so successful because of this one thing. We were successful because of, we had that. That went really well. We had a little bit of luck there. That clicked into place well. Same as with bad. Like, man, it was so hard. When we won them 8 games in a row, I don't think there was one thing that we did different in terms of when we lost 7 in a row.
Interesting.
There was not one thing. There's not one thing I changed.
Yeah.
I think it was just a few little things. Obviously, I can't sort of name names or go into too much detail in terms of
of course,
hierarchy of things and that, but certain attitudes or certain things on the training pitch or decisions being made then led to lots of little things just getting disrupted. And once you get on that losing streak, it's fucking hard to turn it around, you know. And it was tough. It was really, really tough and dark times. But like I said before, tough times don't last, but tough people do, and we had to get through it somehow. And everybody had their opinion, and there was a lot of disruption in terms of fans and everything, but ultimately, we still fucking stuck together. And I know there was different opinions and people saying they should do this, they should do that. Everybody turned up. Yeah. Everybody turned up, even when shit at the fan, we were losing. And it was horrible after some games, you know what I mean? Getting booed off. Me personally getting called every name under the sun when I just want to go and speak to my old man after a game. But that's okay. I'm not asked. I'm okay with that. Like, fuck me, it is what it is. You have good times, you have bad times, but you stick together. And that's what we did this season. Hence why, when it got turned around in a big way, because not once did somebody turn their back or not turn up, or we still stuck together. And it was hard. And there was things said, and lads, some things, not everybody stayed on for the ride, you know. Some fell by the wayside, and new lads come in January and you take us on now in terms of managerial appointments as well. So yeah, it was really hard, but we stuck together, and I was mad season, but I was proud to be part of it. And I was proud to be part of the team that turned it around, and because it was looking bleak.
Yeah, it really was. There were points in this season where I thought, like, you go for the football, and I get that, but even that was getting hard. It just wasn't ever going our way at any point. And you know, a big change comes in, and Steve Evans comes in. You talked earlier about galvanising fans. My God, has he galvanised us as fans. Just what is he like? What's Evans like? Because you've kicked on to another level. I remember I posted that stat of your last 6 games or whatever. Yeah. Best in League 2 at that point, you know. So you as fans get galvanised, but you as players look like you've really bought into it as well. What's he like? What's he brought? 9 promotions under his belt. It's just, he's a serious man, you know, and how does that feel, working under him? Yeah,
I mean, firstly, I'll say credit to the football club, because they made an appointment there, and I'm sure there was different options which maybe they could have gone down, but they made the right appointment, for sure.
Definitely.
And I was buzzing when he got appointed, and he's been absolutely brilliant because he applies that little bit of pressure where there's that fear factor, but ultimately he gets the best out of players, which is what you need. And also I say fair play to the gaffer, because where we were sat at the table at that point, on the loss run that we were on, that takes someone with serious balls to come in and take that job.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't looking pretty. So I take my hat off to him, because that takes a winner to do that. And everybody respected him for that. And to start with, it wasn't easy. And he obviously took over just before, was it the January window?
Yeah.
Just before.
Yeah, just before.
And he had to make changes, and he did. And he simplified things, which sometimes is the best. Keeping things simple, having simple things in place is so much better than when it can get complicated and get all a bit disjointed. He simplified things, he got the lads together, and he galvanised the fan base ultimately, and he galvanised us as a squad of players once January was over in terms of the players he brought in. And he made some unbelievable signings.
Unbelievable.
You Joe Quigley, do you know what I mean? Like, not flash or down, but for what we actually needed, perfect. Puts himself about, pops up with a goal, physical presence. We'll scrap away, we'll have a tear up, we'll flip in, elbow somebody in the throw if you need, like, got that nasty edge to him.
Grimsby at home. I was the club sponsor, the game sponsor, right? And obviously you met me and Hainer and my dad and everyone on the pitch, and we gave Quiggs the man of the match. Bro, I got ridiculed.
Yeah.
Why you get? I think he's been brilliant.
Yeah, I think people just, I don't know why that is, but in terms of like playing with someone, it's just perfect. And like the graft he puts in, that's where people maybe haven't played the game to understand the graft that he puts in, the physical presence, the winning headers, the little touches, the coming back from corners and heading 60% of the corners away, the work ethic, the covering 12, 13k a game. Like,
yeah, and this is a number we don't see.
That's things that people just don't realise and just think, oh, he's a big lump up front. But in terms of a player, I appreciate him, and he's been brilliant. The same as everyone. Ellis, Fab. The amount of numbers that Fab turns out
is ridiculous.
Ridiculous. The amount of minutes he's played this season and the total distance is like through the scale, carrying knocks, getting smashed, ankles pissing out the blood after games. Whereas people just don't see that, and I appreciate that. If you don't see it, then you don't know. But Ellis as well, unbelievable, like what an end of the season he had. And then obviously for me, Riley coming in, Kofi, the different aspects that Kofi brings with the long throw, the strength, just being an all-rounder, do you know what I mean? He's not 6'5", but he's competitive, and he has that little bit of nastiness and a bit of a wind-up merchant. Another aspect, Riley, played with him before at Mansfield, good player, comfortable on both sides, versatile, good on the ball, quick, athletic, good in the air, great lad as well off the pitch. So like Richie coming in midfield, like the signings that were made, like perfect Richie, do you know what I mean? Just somebody who could actually, do you know, at the start of the season I used to say, we just need somebody who can come in, break up the play, like bit of a senior head that can read the game well, get stuck in, make the odd foul, win the odd tackle. A Coots, do you know what I mean? Underappreciated and undervalued in football.
Definitely.
But Richie come in, and then obviously you have your star boy, Youssef, that little bit of magic. Might not do anything for 50 minutes, but then you best know that he's going to cut in on his left and slap his up corner.
I describe him as inevitable.
Yeah.
Cut him on his left, you know where it's going. Yeah. Promise described him as a joke. In his interview at Tranmere Away, he's a joke. He's just a joke.
Yeah. And also, he's got that little bit of naivety. The amount of times in the game, I've been screaming, pass the ball. It's not like this isn't school football now.
Yeah.
Pass the ball, you'll get it back, then you can do it. But he just would shrug his shoulders and go, all right, I'll show you.
Stick it top bins and be like this.
Yeah. And then they're all celebrating. So, yeah, no, it's been good. And obviously Tommy coming in as well. Good character.
Great song.
That's probably the best
Definitely.
song I've heard. And popped up with some important goals. He's a good player, obviously he's from high calibre, well known for Bradford and been around a bit, but good players, good characters, and obviously the gaffer galvanising the fan base, doing stuff which I've never seen.
Yeah, Thatcher's End, right?
Going to the Thatcher's End and getting like headlocked by people on that, but ultimately the most important thing is galvanising this football club and getting that feel-good factor, because with that feel-good factor, sky's the limit, and when we get that, you get that tingles, like when we were talking about the promotion, the 7-0. You just feel like only good, positive things can come from it. And like, obviously the sellouts of the men and the 10,000 fans and stuff like that, it's just unbelievable. And we've not really had that for a long time. So credit to the gaffer for coming in and doing that. He's been absolutely brilliant.
He's thrown himself right in, hasn't he? Like, he's really like, at no point did I ever, and obviously he gives, your correct answers in interviews, but at no point did I think he wasn't going to sign and be our manager for this upcoming season, and I'm excited for what we can build next season. We've learned from last season. You've obviously said I can't name names, etc., but you now feel like we have a great core of players.
Yeah, there's a good nucleus there.
Add that extra bit of quality and we can go up.
There's a bit more competition in terms of every position. Because everybody's going to be needed next season.
Yeah.
Everybody. So.
For sure. And this is another thing he did, right? There's January signings. I questioned a few of them. Evans and Rayner had a plan for every single one of those boys.
Yeah.
Kofi Balmer, when he first signed, I was thinking, is he just a long throw? No, he's not.
No.
Arguably player of the season.
Yeah,
it's
brilliant.
Riley Harbottle, he's just so composed. Richie Smallwood, like you say, that tenacity, that breakup of play, that know-how. Yusuf, that bit of magic if you need it. Quigley up top to just basically
be a batter.
I have no qualms now with anyone who he thinks is fit to wear the Rovers shirt in the summer, because he's going to get the right style of player, and it's exciting.
Yeah, and he gets the best out of him.
And he gets the best out of him, and he seems like a great gaffer to play under. And
he is passionate and he cares, and he's a winner. And he, in this short space of time, he really loves Bristol Rovers.
He's a gashead.
He's a gashead, basically.
He's a gashead.
And you need that. So, because that just gives you that little bit of smidge, maybe it means a bit more. So, it's looking positive.
We're almost at the end. I did promise you I'd get a few questions from the fans, okay? You can keep them as brief or as in-depth as you'd like. I've got a fair few. I'm excited about one of them, although I actually think I know what you're going to answer. But anyway, this one comes in from rowan.s09 on Instagram. What is it like actually hearing the fans chant your name every time you step foot on the pitch?
It's unbelievable. And it's hard for me to sometimes not turn around and start giving it.
It's Bristol City.
It's Bristol City. I'm like, fucking do.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a great feeling. And it's always a bit of a pinch me moment. My family all sat there and listening to it, and having 10,000 odd people shout your name. It's special and it's surreal. If I could have said to my little 8-year-old self, one day you're going to be captain in 20 years' time and have your own song.
It's mental.
No way.
It is mental. Like, it's the stuff of dreams, mate.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really is.
It really is. And for a lot of hard work, it's now my reality.
Right, next one. And this is the one I feel like I know what you're going to say, but you can if you want to. This comes from Jamie.m42 on Instagram. If the club had an arm wrestling competition, who would win it?
I'm winning that.
Yeah.
But I reckon Big Joe Quigley's got to win.
Yeah, for sure.
Brad Young, maybe.
Really?
He's a big lad, yeah.
Okay.
Big Brad.
But you're thinking you, aren't you?
Thinking me,
yeah.
Maybe between Promise, though. He's a strong boy.
That's a great shout.
Forgot about Prom.
That's a great shout.
I feel like we're like the three heavyweights.
Okay, fair.
Between us three. Riley,
no.
Kofi, maybe. But
you're giving it yourself, aren't you?
Yeah, I think I would.
Fair play. This comes from a very close friend of mine. This is Benny_G1405. I'm intrigued by this. From a player's point of view, actually, how good are the Gasheads?
Yeah, unbelievable. Obviously, I've experienced this on fans playing at Mansfield, but when I'm at Bristol Rovers and everyone's got that feel-good factor and everyone's singing, it is electric. I can't describe it when I'm on that pitch. And I love the men as well. I know a lot of people have different opinions.
No, I love it, mate. I love it.
people are different, like want to get a brand new stadium, and I go to places like MK Dons and I think, this is not it.
This is soulless.
It's soulless. And
Yeah.
like, look at the men, and the place is bouncing. Like Tommy Lee, when he scored that goal, we all belly slid into the corner, and I'm just looking around, I'm thinking, this is the best thing in the world. And of course, you have good days and bad days, and good times and bad times, but I take my hat off to any Bristol Rovers fan, because in the last however many years, the roller coaster this club's had, let's say maybe the last 40 years, it's mental.
It's not
Even
good on
in
the
like
heart.
our lifetimes, like relegation to non-league under Darryl, coming back to back promote, like it's
Man's
crazy.
pen. My dad was looking at the wall.
Leave Man's
Look.
pen, and he absolutely slapped it. Angelo
stamp.
Balance's pen, do you remember it? The composure that you have to,
Ridiculous.
to do that.
The minerals to have that.
Yeah, and he just walked on, just past it.
Just put it in there and walk back out. Oh, I remember Monkhouse in that season
there's
as
not
well.
many.
What a player.
Andy Monkhouse.
What a player.
What a player, yeah. Neil Trotman used to play centre back for a bit. Like, so many
It's
people.
crazy. I like that you say that about the men, mate, because
I love the men.
it's
I wouldn't
amazing.
change a thing. And I know it's like, it's not the most swankiest place. It's a little bit disorganised, but I love it. And like, for me, it feels like home.
It's
I wouldn't
great.
have it any other way.
And I know it's not the same, but like again, when I was the match sponsor and I walking onto the pitch and they're all singing, I was thinking, I don't know how you hear each other. Because you came up to me, you said, just like you said, I was, and I was leaning in thinking, I don't actually know, I can't really hear you. And that was just the start of the game. I can't imagine the noise when you're actually on the pitch. Like you say, Tommy Lee, what a moment. It must be deafening. And there's no wonder players talk like this on pitches, because you can't hear each other.
Yeah, it's
I
like,
love the man.
don't get me wrong, it can be the loneliest place. in the world, as you could imagine, like, but it could be the best place in the world. So yeah, no, I absolutely love the men. Went to Wembley. How many did we take that day?
40,000.
Not many National League sides at that time.
And this is what Evan say, we're arguably the bigger club in Bristol.
It's insane. No, it's beautiful, and it's a privilege to represent that club.
This comes from Joseph Kennington on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Who's the most aggressive, nastiest bastard centre forward you've come up against on the pitch? First question, then there's a second one.
John Akinde, he was always pretty nasty, and that was under Steve as well, when he was at Gillingham.
Yeah.
But then again, I've played non-league, and I've played against some lads as like an 18-year-old, and just been like elbows.
Yeah, fair.
Like Alan Griffin.
Right.
Played Forest Green.
Okay.
And playing like around, had a little dabble, but like so good like, in the air, like backing in, like putting an elbow up here and there, and like thinking you've got the better of him, and then he'll like flick his head into your nose, and your nose pissing out the blood. Like things like that, which I played against obviously Ryan and Tony's, and obviously Matty Taylor, Akin Fenwars, like lots of different players and good players. But even some of the lads that I played when I was at Mansfield, like unbelievable. Like just having that bit of nous.
I mean, the second question of this then was, if you could choose to play against a little fast, skillful forward or an absolute Gert Whopper of a centre forward, what are you picking?
Gert Whopper.
Gert Whopper.
Yeah, you know what
You'd rather play against a Quigs and a Fab?
Yeah.
Really?
I think so, yeah.
Interesting.
Obviously, it all depends on how they play. Like, if Fab's playing and they're booming it up every time, then happy days. I'll head them.
Yeah.
But if they're a side which are like down the sides or putting it in behind you, that's when you know you're in for a long.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's only so many times you
Got a
try
bit
and
of turn
play
of
the
pace.
offside card. Line up.
You're back. Yeah.
But, but to be honest, the mid-rangers, if I was to put a spin on that question,
Okay.
the ones that can do it all, the ones that are good in the air, strong, can run you in behind, hold up, like your Ivan Tonys. They can do it all. They're not great at one thing, but they're fairly good at everything. You know they're going to be good in the air. You know they might pin you, and yet the next time they're running in behind you, that's when you can't get comfortable.
God, you've got to be switched on.
You've got to be switched on.
Like,
Whereas with certain players, a big lad, you know they're just going to boom up to the head. You know what you're going to get. You can prepare for that. You can have a tear up, so to speak. But it's the all-rounders, which 1 minute they're pulling in front of you, the next they're spinning you in behind. It's like, oh my God, I'm coming out there.
Yeah, mate, I'd be struggling out there. This comes from Captain Gas on not the actual Captain Gas. The mascot basically. Now, Gas Captain. He said, firstly, Alfie is my boy's hero. So that must be lovely to hear.
Nice.
But who was your hero growing up?
My hero growing up in terms of football side of things, and in terms of kit, I always had his DVDs. I would always get his DVDs with probably David Beckham.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hence the long hair.
Hence the good long hair, good luck. Yeah. I never supported Premier League.
Yeah.
I got bought an England kit, and then I'd get new Rovers kit every year in terms of training kit, and obviously that was like my pride and joy that we would get given training kit and a kit to play in. So, but other than that, I get bought David Beckham England #7 shirt, the ones that were like reversible.
Oh, mate!
Like red on the one side and then like white on the other side.
Specials.
Yeah, JJB. So in terms of that, it'd probably be David Beckham and I would always watch his videos. You used to have like the DVDs or like the videos, and I used to go upstairs and
on the VCR and all that
put it in, and like it would be him doing like little skills and stuff. So him probably, obviously captain of England and superstar, and then obviously my dad as well was a real role model, and
I felt like that was coming. Yeah.
Real special person, and supported me through the good times and the bad, and every game. He's not missed many games at all throughout my whole career.
Wow, look, my little one's only 2 years, 8 months, but having a little one, if my son ever grew up to say that I am his hero, that's the dream.
Yeah.
I can imagine, like, just you and your dad's relationship is incredible, and it must be incredible for him to watch you doing this stuff, and he supports you, like, he's everywhere. I walked up back to my car, my dad, me, your mum and your dad, all the way back up to the car, just chatting about the game. He's just a top bloke.
Yeah, he's good, and it helps me because he does understand football. In terms of me, he's never been my son this, my son that. He's never blown smoke at my arse.
Yeah.
But he's protective of me, and obviously he's very proud of me. So it's great support, and like I've got pictures of me walking off the pitch, clapping the fans, and like blowing my family a kiss, and I can see him stood there, and he's like emotional. Do you know what I mean?
There's that video of you having a hug and a kiss.
Yeah. He says all I ever do is I want to be there for you, good or bad, because I know if I was coming off the pitch, I haven't played Bristol Rovers, and if it was bad, I want someone there to be with me. Do you know what I mean?
Right. So, that's an interesting point of view. Someone always in your corner.
Absolutely, yeah. Because, like you just said, you just mentioned your little boy there. I'm still his little boy. I'm still that little lad who was once sat in his lap. Do you know what I mean? No matter what, even though I'm a 20-year-old man now.
Well, he showered you naked at Mansfield, didn't he?
Not long ago. After me in the park. He's a top man, and I'm very appreciative. And he's not overly lovey-dovey, but he looks after me and my sister and my mum. Yeah, he's top man. He's very supportive and kind of done it without, so to speak.
That's great, mate. I love that answer. Next one comes from Matt Simpson, and we briefly touched on this, bro, to be honest, but what was the one thing that Evans did when he came in that had the biggest impact on the squad?
It's hard for me to say because I don't want to go into too much details. Definitely simplified things, made things very simple, very basic, very black and white, nothing too complicated. And what he's always done, he had an unbelievable transfer window where he signed the right characters, right back, and got rid of maybe the people that weren't good fit for the club. So there's not just one thing, there's obviously simplifying things, making things very simple, bringing an edge to the place, good January transfer window, getting people in and out, and then galvanising the whole club, fans.
He really has, hasn't he? He wears the merch, he does everything to...
Absolutely, and that makes a massive difference. Yeah, I'd put it down to sort of them three big factors.
Two more. You can pick anyone, past or present, dead or alive. It's a bit heavy, but we'll go a bit deep. Yeah, a bit deep. To be your dream centre-back partner. Who is it?
My dream centre-back partner?
Tony Craig.
Big TC. I've already played with him.
I know.
Sergio Ramos.
Oh.
Got that sort of sexiness in it.
Yeah.
I can imagine like going out with him after playing and go and get a few drinks and stuff. It would just be so cool, yeah. And he's a winner, and I always quite liked him watching him go out. He was so nasty. He had that real life edge to it.
He had a bit of bite, didn't he? Well, a lot of bite. Is it the most red cards of any centre back ever, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Crazy.
Ridiculous number. But I just think he would be quite cool. I actually met him once. I went to Miami. And
Sergio Ramos.
Yeah, and he just got off the plane. And I looked, and I went to my dad and said, "That's Sergio Ramos." He was like, "No, it's not." And then we looked, and it was. And it was just him and his brother and one other. And I went to him and said, "Oh, can I have a picture?" He went, no picture. And I said, "Oh, just for me. I won't put it anywhere." And he was like, "Okay, just for you." And then we had a little selfie.
That's class. Yeah. I love that. That's a great pick.
Yeah.
That's a great pick. I didn't expect that. I thought you were going to say like a Vidic or a Terry or Sergio Ramos.
It's different. You know what I mean, I just imagine like if you were mates with him, he'd just be cool.
You want the Madrid life. That's what you want. You want the Madrid life. Okay, this is the last one, and then I'll get onto your quiz.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Matty Bray, do you have any footballing superstitions?
Well, particularly no. I'm a strong believer in I don't like to pigeonhole myself too much. I don't want to have to rely on doing this, because then if I don't have half a cup of milk with 1 teaspoon of porridge, I'm going to have like a
Half a
breakfast.
cup
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
If I don't put 5 wraps of tape around my left foot first over the right, and then what, am I going to score 7 over?
Yeah.
I mean, like, no. So
Yeah, some players
I try
aren't they?
yeah, I eat different things. I do things in different order. I'm not too fast. Don't get me wrong, I have a few non-negotiables in terms of like, I get my kit on, I'll have a stretch, and then go and see the physio, and get a little bit of treatment. I then normally do the talk with the referees, because as captain, you and the manager from both teams speak with the ref.
Before you come out?
Before we come out, yeah.
Interesting.
When we're getting ready.
Okay.
And he'll just introduce himself, he'll say this one, this one Z. And so it's just like a 3-minute chat. And so like I do things which of my routine, but I wouldn't call them superstitions.
Okay.
But I do stick to my routine quite well, and I do the same sort of stretches and get myself ready.
Wow, quiz time.
It's fine.
Now you said to me you're quite competitive, so you actually want to get this.
I do well, yeah.
So
if they're questions about me,
they're all about you. Now, what I will say is that until I think Brad Young is next to here doing this, until he comes on, you're going to be top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, nice.
Right? So you're fine for now. I'm going to score it. Question 1 gets you 1 point. Question 2 gets you 2. Question 3, they get hard.
Okay. Right.
Some of these I don't even need to look. And Gas heads play along as well, so 15 points. Okay? This is all about your career. Quiz questions, and whoever wins at the end of this summer is the winner of From Grassroots to the Gas quiz questions. You get a prize?
Yeah, what
I don't know.
Pride.
Well, yeah, just pride. The pride and respect of the Gashead community. I'll teach you first aid for free. There you go. Number 1. Don't look. What was the number you wore when you made your debut for the Gas in 2019 versus Gillingham away?
30.
30 is correct. You got 1 point.
I'm sure it was 32, but yeah, 30.
Yeah, you were 32, 31, 30, then 15, then 5.
Right, yeah.
You've worked your way down. Number 2, you've played under 7 different managers in your career so far. Can you name them all specifically in order? One of them is obviously a return.
Yeah.
From Rovers.
So I'm just naming one of them once, because I never actually played for him before. I don't.
Oh, you never actually played for him.
But he's
okay. That's a technicality. But yeah, we'll start from
okay.
We'll start from DC.
Darryl.
Yeah.
Graham Coughlin.
Yeah.
Ben Garner. Paul Tisdale. Joe Barton.
Yeah.
Nigel Clough.
Yes.
Steve Evans.
Well, Darryl Clark was the return, yeah. So then it's your Steve Evans. There's your 7. Because I've got clout in Darryl twice. That's 7.
7, yeah.
Flipping it. This is question 3. According to Transfermarkt, you've played 168 EFL matches. How many goals have you scored? EFL games only, bro. Because you've had a hell of a run in like the cups and stuff, but EFL only, League 1, League 2, how many goals have you scored according to Transfermarkt in 168 games?
12?
9. You've scored 9 in the EFL. You're on 3 out of 6. Question 4. This is what I said about the goal. I didn't know this, I had to rewatch it. Number 4, you will be forever remembered for the 30-yard screamer against Blackpool home in 2020. Who assisted the goal? No, you do know that. I will shake your hand for that. That is impressive stuff.
Wow.
What player as well?
I remember he got it off the throne and then...
He did. Turned in, played it inside. Yeah. I didn't think you'd know that. Okay. Yeah. So what's that? That's 6 out of 10 you've got.
Okay.
Last question. This is just ridiculous, but here we go. This is worth 5 points. You signed from Mansfield Town on the 12th of January 2023. But what day of the week was that?
Signed from Mansfield on when was it?
12th of January 2023, but what day of the week was it?
It wasn't the weekend. I don't know if it was Monday. No. Wednesday.
Thursday. You signed on the Thursday. That is 6 out of 15. That's not bad. You're fuming, aren't you? You're fuming.
I was trying to work out, because I remember we had a game on the weekend. I was trying to figure out how many days it was. We were training, but I must not have trained twice.
It was the Thursday, yeah. We are going to wrap it up there. I just want to say a massive thank you. You've been great. I mean, you were very keen about doing this. It was back and forth. It's a lot easier for me. Obviously, I'm a fan first and foremost. It means the world to sit down with the Rovers captain. I really appreciate that. Hopefully, it hasn't been overly stressful for you, but you've answered so in depth and a real insight. I can't get over the image of you running at 9 up a hill with your dad cycling. That's just incredible. And thank you so much. And my last question to you then before we go is, can we do it next season?
Absolutely.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we
Thank
can.
you very much.
No,
I appreciate it. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Gasheads, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Alfie's put a lot of time and effort into this, so just repay that as well, and I'll catch you in the next one. And as always, at the gas.
Got the gas.
Yes.